Donald Trump is in Michigan as part of his battleground blitz this week. Let's get reaction from Democratic Congresswoman Debbie Dingell of Michigan. Congresswoman, thank you so much for joining us this evening. The former president campaigning heavily in your state this week, while Harris has scaled back her schedule in part for debate prep. Do you think that this is a missed opportunity by Harris not to bring more of the DNC momentum from last week out onto the campaign trail early this week, particularly in your key state of Michigan?
Well, no, Alex, good to be with you. I think, one, we need a candidate who's doing debate prep and needs to make sure that she is rested and doesn't make mistakes. She's getting right back out on the road this week. She's going to a number of other battleground states. They were here. Donald Trump wants Michigan. I have said that to everybody. I told people in 2016 he could win Michigan. And I think he's hoping that he's going to do that again. But I can tell you that there were a lot of us out working this weekend. We had our state convention, so a lot of people were focused there. We had surrogates in the state. We're having record numbers of people that are doing the canvases and the phone banking. And I know we will see both candidates in Michigan on our side as well. I mean, we're seeing Trump advance here how many times? 3 times this week. Michigan's at play. You're going to see the candidates.
And Congresswoman, whether it's on the campaign trail or in a future debate, Trump is certain to go after Harris on the economy. I want to play a bit of sound from Senator Lindsey Graham arguing against Democrats in an interview with CNN. Take a listen.
This whole joy love fest doesn't exist in the real world. The world is on fire. Your grocery bill's up, your gas bill is up, your mortgage payments are up, and the worst is yet to come if you reelect these people yet again.
So, Congresswoman Graham there speaking about some very practical implications for the American people. How does the vice president counter that line of attack?
I think she just talks the truth. I mean, first of all, I really think that this is a very easy comparison between what the administration of former President Trump was and what the administration of Vice President Harris will be. And we do not need any more hate or division. The place that the former President Trump chose to go last week was where there was a KKK march only a month ago, and it's known as the home of KKK. That's spreading hate and division for me. We do need to worry about the economy, but she is very focused on it. Former President Trump didn't do anything about affordable housing. He didn't do anything to help people make their living costs. COVID was a nightmare for everybody. We've come out of COVID. The economy is recovering. We're creating more jobs. We're bringing our supply chain back to this country. I think that there's a vision of looking forward. And you know, what's wrong with okay, let's not be pitted against each other. Let's work together. Let's try to have some joy or happiness or hope as we work together for a stronger, united America.
Congressman, we have seen a lot of Harris since she became the candidate, but she has not sat down for an interview since the president left this race. Now, of course, we in the press would love to see her do that. But how important do you think it is for actual voters in your state, for example, to hear her answer tough questions from journalists about key policy issues?
Well, I think sometimes you all over exaggerate what the importance of it. She knows what she's going to have to do. She's going to have to spell out her vision and talk about policies more. You're going to start to see that. You know, we forget that it feels like in the last 3 weeks, 4 weeks, we've seen a year or 2 or 3 years worth of what's happened. She's only had a vice presidential nominee for 2 weeks. She had to go into a convention. They had to orchestrate it. She turned a whole campaign over from one person to another. So Labor Day's coming. The fall is here. I think we're 72 or 71 days left in this election. You're going to see some of those things that you want to see happen. We can't get it all squeezed into one day. We got to remember this hasn't been a long time of candidate Harris.
And Congressman, before I let you go, the DNC denied a speaking spot to any Palestinian American. What are you hearing from your constituents about that, and how damaging do you think that is for the vice president?
I've heard a lot of anger from some of my constituents. This is a horrific, tough issue. There are people that are hurting on both sides. And, I'm going to tell you that the Arab Americans, the Palestinians, the Muslims that I represent did not resent the parents of one of the hostages speaking. They understand their pain. What they're looking for is people to understand their pain. More than 40,000 civilians have been killed in this war. I have a lot of Lebanese, not just Palestinians. They're afraid that Lebanon's going to blow up any minute. They're worried about war in the Mideast. We all need to understand there are lots of people hurting. And I don't like the way that Donald Trump talks about World War III. I think
Right.
we need to prevent further violence. But we want peace in the Mideast, and we got to work towards peace.
All right, Congresswoman Debbie Dingell of Michigan, thank you very much for your time.